Hello and welcome to another fun-filled edition of Adam's Music Box. And I want to wish Dion DiMucci a very, very happy birthday. Dion's been one of the most interesting musicians to burst onto the scene in the 60s and retain such an interesting career that involved so many, I don't want to say stylistic changes, but so many stylistic choices because he can and he did and he does perform in many different styles of music. Now, I've got something of a personal story because the first song that I ever did in public, it was at a karaoke festival, and I loved music even when I was a kid. And I performed the first time I ever performed live, and I wasn't very good at it. It was The Wanderer, which is, of course, a Dion song, one of his early hits, along with Run Around Sue, another one which I actually attempted to do live. And, I suppose I sung so well that I decided right then and there to be a drummer and not a singer. So there you go. But these were just absolutely great songs. And they had everything you really wanted in a song. They were memorable, they were fun. You could, well, I tried, I say you could sing it, but people like me tried. And of course, on songs like Run Around Sue, Dion himself was a co-writer. He did songs that others had made famous. He did, for instance, in those early days, Kansas City by Liebert and Stoller, did, the songs of the day, but he also wrote a lot of great songs as well and continued to be quite a prolific writer right up until the present day. Now, I've mentioned this before, but one of the most interesting sort of turns in musical style came in his 1968 self-titled album. Now, the track from this album that was a big single and one that I think perhaps captured the feelings of the late 60s more accurately and more sincerely than any other record was his hit Abraham Martin and John, which talked about the political assassinations of the decade. President Kennedy, Senator Kennedy, and of course, linking it back to President Lincoln, Martin Luther King Jr., who was also assassinated that year. And it was just a song that I think provided both catharsis and an opportunity for further reflection for a society that was reeling from all these literal changes that were happening, many of which were violent. But the album also has a version of Purple Haze that is very unlike the Jimi Hendrix version. And I definitely think you should check that out to show you the kind of versatility of arrangement and of styles that Dion was able to perform. And of course, he continued to record in the 70s. He recorded a lot of great Christian records, some really great stuff there. He's done blues, he's done all sorts of different things and still going strong. So, to a true living legend of music, of rock and roll, to singer songwriting, to Christian music, to blues, to everything in between, happy birthday to Dion. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Take care.